This town is really isolated. On both sides, it's surrounded by mountain ranges. Gold panning in the river, and you still can do that.
So this place is called Bramley Rock.
And because we told her that we lived in the van, so her answer was, some people that travel, they stay days without a shower. Let me introduce ourselves. We are Steve and Az, and we travel full-time in our self-converted camper van. So come on with us. Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing? Welcome to Canada and welcome back to the channel. We came to the town of Princeton because there was a lot that we wanted to explore here. The trip here is really beautiful. We drove about 2 hours from Chilliwack here through the Hope Princeton Highway. It's a beautiful trip. We drove through some farmland. It was really beautiful. We saw some, I don't know if they were deer or antelopes, but we saw some wildlife on the way. It was so gorgeous. And as you drive, the fields, they are just so vast and sometimes flat, sometimes beautiful mountains. It's just a feast to the eyes. We have spent 2 nights in this campground. This is not really a campground. This is a place that we are boondocking. The hosts here are amazing. They gave us this spot here with an outhouse just here so that we don't need to use our composting toilet. Yesterday we explored the town of Princeton a little bit. Welcome to Priceton B.C. Princeton is known as the bronze sculpture capital of Canada. There is so much that's so interesting about the city.
Wow, look, yeah, so this is a bronze statue.
There are so many around, guys. We want to film a few of them to show you.
So we're going to go for a drive through downtown while we see how many bronze statues we can find, huh?
As the time is limited and we want to see as much as we can before we have to leave. Princeton started as a very small town.
Very much of a ranch and agricultural area, I think.
Gold panning in the river, all of these things. And you still can do that in the river. You can go gold panning.
Gold panning.
They still do a lot of mining, like minerals and stuff.
Look at these old buildings in town. There's even a supermarket.
Save on Foods is everywhere. So everywhere you drive here, you see these little flags with the countries on it, saying welcome in their own language.
Because she saw Bem-vindo Brazil.
Yeah, that was welcome in Portuguese.
So look at these buildings up here. Old small town Canada.
I guess these buildings have changed a lot from when this town started. So far we've seen a few statues. We just saw an owl.
We saw
earlier.
A moose, an owl,
and a bear. Oh, there was a bird as well. I couldn't tell what type of bird it was, but it was a bird.
There's a wolf.
Is that a wolf or a coyote?
Something, I don't know. And there's a cougar.
And there's a cougar.
And here are some more wolves. And this is outside of the museum.
I don't think it's closed now, unfortunately.
And the livery stable there.
What is a livery? This is a fox, I believe, yeah? It's like going to the zoo, but the animals don't move.
Oh, what do we have here?
Is anybody home?
So this is one of the attractions. The river's a little low now because it's summertime, but I think there's a lot more water in the winter time.
I want to thank you guys for all the corrections you always drop in the comments every time we get something wrong about some town we drive through. It's really difficult to really get all the facts right. So thank you very much for your correction, and we welcome you to correct us again if we say anything wrong in this video. One thing about Princeton is that this town is really isolated. On both sides, it's surrounded by mountain ranges. It took us about 2 hours to drive from the city of Chilliwack here, and you drive pretty much through nothing. There is a lot of nothings, like beautiful nothings. The landscape is gorgeous. I don't know if it's because it's Saturday and people are probably traveling, but there isn't a lot of people here. And here's another sculpture. We had to recharge our jackery because we don't really have solar panels yet. So to recharge the battery, we went to a restaurant down in downtown Princeton, and we sat there for about 40-50 minutes. That was enough to finish charging the jackery to 100%, which was wonderful. Because this town is surrounded by mountain ranges, wherever you go you can see beautiful mountains in the background. Like, just look at this.
It's definitely a lot more deserty and dry than, say, where we were in Chilliwack, Cultus Lake area.
Definitely, yeah.
So the road we're traveling along is number 3 towards Osoyoos, and it travels at least part of the way along this river on the left hand side.
Called Similkameen Rivers.
Similkameen or something
you
river.
You guys forgive us because we obviously didn't get it right.
And there's people swimming in the river, and it's a beautiful river that travels next to the number 3 road, at least at the moment. And now it's kind of leveled off with farmland on either side, but you still have the mountains in the distance, as you can see. It's interesting. It's a mix of rough mountainous farmlands and fields.
Lots of ranches.
Yeah, lots of ranches. We're pulling up to a place called Bramley Rock now, and Bramley Rock is an interesting place. There's like kind of a beach where people swim down there, so look over there, Naz.
Oh wow, I'm excited. There's a camper here. There are many of us around. So we left downtown Princeton and we drove about 20 minutes down here to Bromley, which is this beach that we just showed you guys, and that we hopefully will get there. Oh yeah, it's along Highway 3. Thank you for reminding us. And we hope the water isn't too cold. Parked right there, and the river is right down here. Beautiful water, look at that. It's been so hot today, guys. It was 100 degrees just now. This is very steep. Let's see if we go down without slipping in this hot sand. Nice and shady. We just need to find a spot we like. Finally a bit of shade, hey? It's been such a hot day.
Been about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's about 37 Celsius.
It's so cold most of the year that when summer comes, it's like
a different country.
It's like a different country. It's great to find this river here. This town is definitely a change from what we are used to. It's really worth coming here. It is.
Wow. Look at that rock. Stuck in the tree. It must have been a flood that came down here.
Yeah, because if you think the Great Flood of 2021 changed this area completely.
As of noon today, the government of BC is declaring a state of emergency.
18,000 people are stranded.
Up to 300 millimeters of rain is expected on the western side of Vancouver Island and the Coast Mountains.
You don't know how deep it is, and you don't know what's lurking beneath.
Canadian officials have declared an emergency in British Columbia.
Days of downpours in British Columbia triggered floods and mudslides that shut down critical highways and railways to Vancouver.
Someone was telling us that it used to be very sandy. It is still very sandy, but there are a lot of rocks that didn't used to be here before.
So this place is called Bramley Rock. And there's a campground just on kind of that side over there. And this is the swimming day use area over here.
Yeah.
Pretty place, very pretty place with a view of the mountains
With people
in the
jumping
distance.
in the water.
And as you can see, the sun is starting to go down a little.
1, 2, 3. It's actually very good. The water is actually not that cold. It's actually pretty good. People come here to spend the day. Some people were here since this morning. It's a great place to come, especially when it's so hot. And I'm feeling very refreshed. Unfortunately, Steven didn't really get full into the water, but it's the intention that counts. As you drive around Princeton, there are many wild animals that you may encounter, like cougars, bears, antelopes, deer. Yesterday, as we were driving here, Steven didn't happen to see it, but I didn't see it properly. I think it was a big deer. It wasn't a moose with huge antlers. It was so beautiful. Your chances of seeing mountain goats are much higher at the crack of dawn. What's the name of the road? So let's see what we can find. Let's see if we see them. It was very funny. Someone was giving us information of where to go and stuff like that. She told us about a place where we could go and have showers for $5 each. And because we told her that we lived in the van. So her answer was, some people that travel, they stay days without a shower. What type of people she think we are, that we don't even shower? It was so funny. What did she say about the river water, Steven?
That you can't just drink the water, you gotta boil it first.
Of course, I wouldn't drink water straight from the river. But hey, she was trying to be helpful. It was just very funny. And yesterday, after driving back from downtown Princeton, after we pulled in, there was a deer right here, right in front of the van. It was a beautiful thing to see. Unfortunately, we scared it away and it left. There is a river right down in this direction. That's where we spent our mornings in these last 2 days. Really great to sit down here.
And then there's some steps where you can walk down.
Arguably, you could even bathe yourself in here. And there's a bridge down there. Oh, there are some ducklings down there. And the river continues. Yeah, it's just what we needed for a weekend. It's a beautiful place to rest. Did we show them the bridge?
Yeah, let's take them to the bridge. Look at that view of the river.
There are little ducks down there. Whole family of ducks.
Look.
On summertime, this is a completely different country. Although the host here told us that it hardly rains in the winter time.
Cold, but doesn't rain as much
Yes, as like the rest of BC, for example.
Yeah. Oh, there's a dog. There's a dog in the water.
Oh. You know what? It's getting so hot. I feel tempted to get inside this river.
So this book looks really interesting that the hosts of this place lent to us, camping in Baja, Mexico, but they have other books as well for other areas, and it's really nice because it gives a really detailed view of how you can camp in an RV or a van and places to visit. So we'll try to link some of the books down in the description below. Get them on Amazon.
And also, this was before the internet was widely available for everybody, so it's highly detailed. We didn't film them, but right here where we were camping, there was a family of van lifers. They travel with their 2 kids. The name of their YouTube channel, because they are on YouTube, is Skylark the Shuttle Bus, because they have a shuttle bus. Well, is it a shuttle bus or is it a van? For me, it looks more like a bus. To Steven, it looks like a van. Anyways, check on their YouTube channel. They are really fun people and they are doing travel vlogs. We are leaving the link in the description below. We want to come back to Princeton at some point and explore everything that we can. But for today, we need to drive back to Chilliwack, and there are so many other things to see. So join us in this adventure. Thank you, Happy. We stopped for fuel here at the fuel station, and Steven's getting rid of some bugs that we acquired on the windshield. Look at this. I don't think the camera's gonna get it, but everything's kind of hazy, kind of maybe smoky, probably fires. It's very, very hot. And before anyone says anything, I have a few shirts exactly like this. So I'm not wearing the same top as before. We find clothes that are on sale, and if we like them, we buy a few of them, the same ones. Socks, shirts, anything that we like, even if it's the same color, exactly the same model, we buy them.
In fact, I'm buying more black shirts. So if you see me in black shirts.
I don't know if you guys can notice, but we are going up the hill and the pressure starts to build. You need to swallow to unblock your ears. They start popping. It's pretty weird. It's getting pretty smoky as we drive. I don't know if you're gonna see any fires, but the vegetation, some of it's really green and beautiful. Some of it is really dry.
And we're heading up the mountain because Princeton is between two mountain ranges.
Some of the grass has a really different color from the rest of the vegetation and even from other grasses. That was really special about Princeton is that, let me explain the context. Canada is a country which weather is very cold for most of the year. So when summer's out, everybody goes out. Rivers, lakes, whatever tourist attractions they can go to. I thought Princeton would be packed with holiday makers, but there was hardly anybody in town. Maybe it's just the days that we went there that there weren't people, but even going down to that river, there were a lot of people, but not a lot of people. Let's compare to Cultus Lake. Cultus Lake is steaming with people every time you go
Traffic
there.
jams on the weekends.
Jams on the weekends. Princeton was such a joy. All the roads were clear. Whenever we were driving through the farms, we would hardly ever see any cars. It was amazing.
I think in Canada, the further out you get into the country away from the cities, the better. So Canada has one of the highest real estate prices in the world. Literally, it is in a huge bubble. Compared to other countries, the earning power and the cost of real estate is just over the roof. Then you drive through Canada, there is so much space. There is literally, it's one of the biggest countries in the world. Gotta wonder, why is real estate so expensive compared to pretty much every country on earth when there's so much space? Almost the only thing I can think of is the government regulations. You're not allowed to build.
And a lot of it's crown land as well.
Also, I heard that just to get permits, it costs about a third of the price of the house.
Is that permit to build?
Just the permitting process, which is crazy. So if you have a house for 100,000, that's 30,000 on permitting. And if you were able to find a house for 100,000, that is cheap in this country.
Finally arrived at Chilliwack, but we still need to do some shopping for the house. We need a little propane stove because when you boondock and you have no electricity to be cooking, these things come in very handy. So these are the bags that we buy for the van.
And it's almost the smallest. In a small van, you want small bags that you can empty it all the time.
Exactly. So there is a small one here, and it takes a small butane canister. The problem is that we don't see these things around very often.
Probably more expensive.
Probably more expensive. We see propane more often, like this. So we need to see what else we can buy. These towels are amazing. They are like $9.97 and they don't take a lot of space because they are thin.
And the best thing is they are cotton.
We were using those yoga towels, but we didn't like the feel of them very much. We bought 3 of them, now we buy more.